Hello S2 Monasteries and welcome to your next lesson in our crime unit. Today we're looking at why do people join gangs. So in your jotter, if you want to take a new hint for today, which is why do people join gangs, or if you're doing this on a Word document, you're typing this up, if you want to type up the heading, why do people join gangs. Now today we are looking closely at why people join gangs and the crime that these gangs commit. Now by the end of the lesson you should be able to do the following three things. So firstly, give reasons why people join gangs. So what are the reasons that people actually join gangs? Describe the crimes that gangs actually commit, and answer an exam style question about why people join gangs. So that's our three main aims for today. Now, why do people join gangs? Now people can join gangs for different reasons. Now these can be social and environmental factors, which we will be discussing, or they can be economic factors, which can ultimately force people to join a gang. Now, firstly, what we're thinking about is why do people join gangs is maybe a social factor when we're thinking about relationships. So the relationship between early childhood trauma and health and well-being problems later in life. So what we're thinking about here is a social factor here. So one social factor in leading people to join gangs is because someone may have had an adverse childhood experience. Now these are known as ACEs. Now an example here you could say is that people are more likely to join a gang if you've experienced ACEs. Now ACEs, what are ACEs? Now in the triangle on the right hand side here you could actually see what are some of these adverse childhood experiences. So these could be things like seeing a family member or a close friend suffering from disease, for example, early in their life, or witnessing violence at an early stage in their life, and these are known as ACEs, so adverse childhood experiences. Now this can then lead later on in life to problems with health, problems with well-being, and may mean that people then join gangs if they've suffered these problems earlier in their life. So one social factor in leading people to join a gang is because they may have experienced an adverse childhood experience. These are known as ACEs. Now you've got this pie chart here which says poverty by highest qualification among working age people 2017 to 2018. So if you have no qualification, 39% of those in poverty have no qualification. 21% of those in poverty have a qualification below degree level, and 12% degree level. So this is a social factor here. So one social factor again in leading people to join a gang is because someone may not have a good enough education to survive. So again, many prisoners and / criminals have no qualifications at all, so they may turn to a gang to help them to survive and get on in life. If they have no qualifications, they're not able to get a job and struggle to make money, so they may join a gang to help support them. So a social factor leading people to join a gang is because someone may not have a good enough education to survive themselves. So many prisoners or criminals have no qualifications. That's an example that you could give here. Now another reason why people join gangs is an economic reason. So one economic cause in leading people to joining a gang is because someone is maybe very greedy. Now an example you could say is gangs offer people the chance to make lots of money very, very quickly, usually selling illegal things such as drugs, and then members in the gang can then make money very, very quickly. So an economic reason in causing people to join a gang is because someone may be very greedy and want to make money very, very quickly. Another economic cause of people joining gangs is because people may be living in poverty. So an example here, poverty in Scotland is around 20%, so people join gangs to try and stay out of poverty. If people are living in extreme poverty, then they may join a gang to stay out of poverty. That links closer to the last one that we discussed a few slides ago about no qualifications. So if people have not got a qualification and they can't get a job, then they may join a gang. If people are living in poverty, even if they have a job, but if someone is living in poverty, they may join a gang to try and stay out of poverty and try and make some money. Another economic cause of joining a gang is because someone may be unemployed. So gangs can provide people with a job, and I say job in inverted commas there, like selling drugs or maybe targeting rivals in another gang, and they could be paid for that. So another economic cause as well as staying out of poverty, if you are unemployed, then a gang can provide you with a job, so to say, and that can again earn you some money. So what we've done there, our first aim today is to give reasons why people join gangs. So we've looked at some social factors and economic factors that lead to people joining gangs. Now what we're going to look at next is to describe the crimes that they commit. Now what types of crime do gangs commit? Now gangs commit a variety of different crimes. Now you'll see here the picture on the right hand side from a news article. It says crime mobs exposed. There are 112 serious organised crime gangs operating in Scotland. It says there the gangs are split across the country with 72% located in the west, 18% in the east and 10% in the north. So we have a lot of serious organised crime gangs operating in Scotland. Now what you're looking to do here is to pause the video at this point and try and list some of the crimes that you think gangs may commit. So if you want to pause the video at this point and try and list some of the crimes that they commit. Now, some of the crime committed by gangs that you could have listed, these include gun crime, so they can be buying and selling guns, they can use guns to target rival gangs. Knife crime, so again they can be buying and selling knives, they can again use knives to target rival gangs as well. Assault, so assaulting rival members or even members of their own gang can be assaulted. Drug trafficking, so selling, moving, buying drugs is one of the common crimes committed by gangs. People trafficking, so taking people from other countries to come across here and work for next to nothing, so people trafficking can be a crime committed by gangs. We've got robbery, so stealing. Money laundering, now money laundering is where money that has been gained illegitimately, so through a crime, is then laundered through what appears to be a legitimate business. So some gangs may own, for example, a car wash or dry cleaners, and they can then say that the money that they're earning is through this business, so that's known as money laundering when actually it's illegal causes that they're getting the money from. Fraud, so committing fraud, that's a common crime committed by gangs. And sale of counterfeit items, so selling fake clothing for example, or pirate copies of DVDs for example. Now that's just some of the crime committed by gangs. There is a lot of other crime that you could mention as well. Okay, so our second aim today was to describe the crimes that they commit. Now our last aim today is to try and answer an exam style question. Now an exam style question, what you're being asked here, the question is explain in detail why people join criminal gangs, and it's worth 6 marks. Now in this type of question we look to answer this type of question using the P structure. So P stands for P is point, so making your point, that gets you 1 mark. Explain, so explain your point, that gets you a mark, and giving an example, that gets you 1 mark. So that means you need to do 2 P paragraphs to get your 6 marks here. Now, you'll see here the question, explain in detail why people join criminal gangs, 6 marks. So an example here, so I've started you off, so this is a paragraph done for you here. So it says, one reason people join criminal gangs is because of social factors like having adverse childhood experiences, which we discussed, known as ACEs. So that would get you 1 mark, because you've given a reason there why people join gangs, that's your point. Then you have to explain that. So this means people may have suffered a death in their family or a social problem like severe poverty, which has had an effect on their life. So you've explained it there, so that gets you a mark. Then you need to give an example linking this to why do people join gangs. So for example, research has shown you're more likely to join a gang if you've experienced ACEs. So there's 1 mark there. So that would get 3 marks for that paragraph. So then says at the bottom there, over to you. So what you need to do is try and do 2 paragraphs yourself to get your 6 marks here, why people join gangs. So use what we've discussed in the PowerPoint to help you here, and I've put the structure here to help you as well. So one reason people join criminal gangs is because, so give your reason there, give your point, that gets your mark. This means, so try and explain it, that would get you a mark. And then for example, so try and use the examples you've been given as well to get your last mark. Okay, so it's over to you. So what you're looking to upload via Teams from this lesson is firstly why people join gangs, crimes committed by gangs, and an exam question answer. So try and note down some of the reasons why people join gangs, note down the crimes committed by gangs, and then your answer to the exam style question. If you have any questions at all about anything discussed in this lesson, then please just let your class teacher know. Thank you very much.